Morning, everyone. Welcome back. We're going to call this video When the Bottom Falls Out from Jonah chapter 2, verse 1. Some prayers you plan. You sit down at the end of the long day. You got the quiet moment. Your kids are sleeping. Everything's good. You try to find the right words to pray to God, and you mean every word of it. You do your best. But some prayers, they find you right in the middle of everything when things are kind of falling apart, right when you weren't ready. You see, Jonah didn't wake up that morning thinking, today I'm going to pray in the belly of a fish. He didn't have that pencil into his planner. In fact, he was running from God, running so fast to the other direction. He was convinced that somehow he can outpace God of the universe. And what's beautiful is that God still remained. Bible tells us this: from inside the fish, Jonah prayed to the Lord his God. Not from a church, not from a retreat, not from a conference, not after getting his life together and fixing everything so it's perfect. No, inside of a living creature. Probably smelled a little bit in there. Every breath probably made him gag a little bit. And that's where grace caught up to him. And honestly, sometimes God lets you hit the bottom. Not because he's mad at you, not because God is cruel. No, he's a good God. Sometimes he allows it because he knows something that we don't like to say out loud when life still looks good. You and I, we don't want to admit we can't save ourselves. We never could, by the way. It's easy to believe you're fine when the job is good, when family's good, when your plans are kind of taking shape. You know what? When the light goes out, when your plans kind of fall through, when the pain shows up and just stays there and it doesn't go anywhere, that's where real prayers are born. I had my own belly of the fish moment recently. I have gout and it kind of flare out of nowhere, like it always is, right? And because life doesn't wait for you to feel better, I had promised my daughter I'll take her to a concert, a J-Hope concert, and I like his songs. So it was that night, so we drove to Oakland Coliseum. I limped across the giant parking lot to the concert hall. Every step felt like someone was shoving and stabbing my ankle with a knife. I smiled, pretended everything's okay. I sat through the whole show, clapping where I could, wincing when I couldn't. I walked back to the car before the crowd, and my leg just felt like it was rebelling against me. It felt like it didn't belong to me anymore. And then next morning, my ankle looked like a football, doubled its size, skin stretched so tight I thought it was going to split open. I was sweating just trying to get up to go to the restroom. And I wasn't thinking about some deep theology or I want to come up with life lesson. No, I was just sitting there hurting. So much so I made a point with the doctor. I sat on the edge of my chair and prayed the only prayer I had left. God, please. God, please. Jonah didn't think about praying. He prayed. It's not the same thing, by the way. Wanting to pray and actually praying, they're different. Knowing you should need God doesn't mean you reach for him. Sometimes pride will have you stuck in the belly of your mess, pretending you're still the one in charge. See, the fish was not punishment for Jonah. It was mercy. Yes, it was a hard mercy. It was ugly mercy and maybe even smelly mercy, but nevertheless, it was mercy for Jonah. It gave him a place to stop fighting long enough to finally say what he should have said from the very start. I can't do this, God. I won't run anymore. I'm coming back to you. And maybe that's where you are right now. Maybe that's what's happening in your life right now. There's a loss there. And there's a choice that you can't take back. Maybe you're still trying to tough it out, thinking if you just work harder, do more, you'll get yourself out. But God's not waiting for you to clean yourself up first. He's waiting for you to stop pretending that you don't need him. See, the prayer he's listening for is not some beautiful, poetic, impressive prayer. It, the prayer he's waiting for maybe sounds like this: Help, forgive me, God, please. And he hears it. Jesus told his followers that Jonah's story wasn't just about surviving a fish. And you can read that in Matthew chapter 12, verse 40. In fact, Jonah's story is a pointer, a clue. Jonah barely survived the judgment that swallowed him. But you know what Jesus did? Jesus didn't survive it. He took it all away. He carried our sins. He carried your sin, my sin, to death and walked out the other side alive. We just had Resurrection Sunday, right? So when you're stuck, when it feels like it's too late, too dark, too broken, my friends, you're not trapped. You're not alone. You're one honest prayer away from the only arm strong enough to pull you out. If Jonah could pray from inside a fish, certainly you can pray from wherever you are while you're listening to me. I pray that prayer will help you to experience God's arm pulling you out of wherever you are. God bless you, and have an amazing day. And if you have not clicked that like button, please do so. Subscribe if you want the video right away. And I'll see you next time. God bless.